Hi guys, welcome to another monthly reset. Today we're going to be chatting about my plans for August and how the month of July went. As always, we're going to start with the July goals. So my goals for July were to do one activity or more a month, which I did accomplish. I did several things when I'm with my friends a couple of times, and I think that's it actually. I didn't do any like planned events or anything like that, but still, we made it outside. Outside of work and like the usual things that I do, so that's good. And then the next goal was to read one book, which I did accomplish. I read a couple of new books and then I finished my book from the previous month, so June. So effectively read 2.5 books, so that's pretty nice. And then the next goal was weekly dating check-ins. So the month started off good and I think like halfway through the month I was just like, I do not have time for this. Which is usually how this goes. Like I'm like in and out of like my enthusiasm for the whole online dating situation, so I did not accomplish that, and I'm honestly taking a break because I'm going on vacation. So I think I should put more effort into meeting people in real life since I'm going to be out and about. So that's what I'm going to do in August and September. Next goal was to do 80-pound squats, which I did accomplish. I stick with my 80 pounds for the entire month, and then as you'll see in the coming month we're gonna raise it. And next goal was to contribute to my brokerage account, which I did manage to do, and in a few I'll chat about what I invested in. Other to-dos, I did buy the Eiffel Tower tickets and I did get tickets to Sky Garden in London. I however have not finished up booking the Switzerland and London hotels because my friend has to decide what she wants to do and I'm still waiting on her, but hopefully we can get that taken care of this weekend so I can just like not have to think about this until actual vacation. So yes, that's it for July goals. Let's move on to finances. Of course, every month I do a budgeting video, so feel free to check that out if you want to know income, expenses, and then what I spent in the previous month as well. You can definitely check those videos out. And other things we're going to chat about this month is investing. I didn't do anything else financial wise in July. Everything was pretty status quo, which I guess is a good thing. But I did buy a few stocks and we'll just chat about them just cause. So there are two ways that I invest outside of my retirement accounts. So 401k, 403b, Roth IRA, HSA, those all go into exchange traded funds. And in my brokerage accounts, I have one that only has exchange traded funds and then a couple that has individual stocks. So in terms of my investment strategy, I prefer to invest in exchange traded funds because they're very diversified and thus the risk of losing all your money at once is diminished, but at the same time you're not going to get exorbitant growth either, so your stocks probably aren't gonna like double in like a day or a week or something like that. Like they're best for long-term investments, so that's where most of my money is. But I started dabbling into individual stocks I think last year, and when I say dabble I mean buy and hold. I do not trade stocks because there's no guarantee that you're going to make money, and I feel like it's entirely too risky. I'm like a buy and hold kind of person, and that's what works for me. So in terms of exchange traded funds, I invested in a couple of sectors. So I got some materials, high dividend yields, consumer staples, and then the total stock market. So that's what I purchased. And then in terms of individual stocks, I went ahead and bought Nvidia. I'm sure if you know a little bit about finances and what's been going on recently, they are a semiconductor company, so that has been fundamental to the whole artificial intelligence boom that's been happening. So their stock has been on an upward trajectory for quite some time now, and because of that it is actually quite expensive, but I feel that there's like more room for it to go up, so I ended up purchasing it when it had dipped below its most recent high. Then I also got a few other stocks. We'll just chat about them real quick. I got Novo Nordisk, and they are a pharmaceutical company, and they are at the forefront of the whole, I cannot pronounce the name of the drug, like the generic name, but I'll put it on the screen. But effectively it's things like Wegovy and Ozempic. So that's another business opportunity that has a potential to make lots of money, because the drug allows people to lose weight that are unable to lose weight like in the traditional way, so like through diet and exercise. And there are plenty of overweight people or people that want to lose weight, and me being one of them. It doesn't apply to me, like I have to do things the traditional way. But yes, I think there is some room for the business to grow, of course, and of course for the stock to go up higher. And then I got Estee Lauder and L'Oreal, and those are cosmetic companies, and I feel like at this point in time, like that industry is doing well as others. Like I clearly am picking things that I feel like the companies have a room to grow. So Estee Lauder and L'Oreal, they make tons of different products. They probably make half the products that are in the shelves of like your typical Target or whatnot. So, and people love to buy those kind of things, and I am one of them, of course, too. Other things that I bought some luxury stocks. I think last year I started buying luxury stocks, and that has worked out well so far because of the something about the pandemic. People clearly were not going out and were thus saving money and then spending the extra money on luxury items. So those companies have done well. So for instance, I bought LVMH, so Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy. I bought some of their stock, and then I bought some Hermes stock because everybody is all over Hermes and getting a Birkin and Kelly. And the company is actually quite well managed, and in terms of how they run their business, they've been doing a good job, clearly, because people cannot seem to get enough, and the stock therefore has been rising for quite some time. So I bought some of that as well. And now we're gonna move on to favorites. All right, so of course I like to break these down into a few categories. So we're gonna start with media. So I watched several good things last month, of course, but I don't want to be here forever, so we'll just chat about the one thing that I enjoyed the most. So that would be Outlander. I don't know if there are any Outlander fans that like watch my channel, but I love Outlander. Like, it's been around for several years now. It's based on a book, which I have not read the book, and I feel like I cannot read the book after watching the show. Like, that's usually how it goes for me. Like, once I already know what the plot is, like, I'm not really interested in reading the book. However, I wish I had discovered the book before the show. That would have been lovely. But yes, so Outlander has been great. I think we're on the 7th or 8th season, and I just love it. Like, the story is like so good, and I think there's a couple more episodes to go, but yeah, I've been really enjoying that. So yeah, next thing would be in terms of books. So like I mentioned, I read a couple books, but in terms of the favorite of the ones that I've read, that is going to be this one. It's called The Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. So I came upon this book because everybody seemed to have been reading this book, so I kept on like showing up on YouTube thumbnails like in my recommended page, and I was like, what's this about? So of course I went to Amazon, I read the synopsis, and then I read the first couple pages. That's usually how I decide like if I want to buy a book, and it intrigued me, so I went ahead and bought it. I did not know like the whole what the hype was about. I know like it's pretty popular on Book Talk. Is that what it's called? I don't know, because I don't go on TikTok. Pretty popular in there, and I know that it's actually quite popular on Amazon itself. I think it's like the #1 fantasy book on there, which is crazy. I've been trying to get it for a while, and it's been sold out, it would appear, but then I managed to get it, and it took like about a month to come. But anyway, I finished reading it. Initially did not think it was that good. Like the first few chapters, I was like, oh, I don't know about this. Like just the way the main character like spoke was just, it just seemed a little childish to me, although she's apparently like 20 something years old. So I wasn't loving that, but then the story itself had promise, so I kept on reading it, and then it became good. Of course, it's also a romance book, so there was like this potential romance situation that started somewhere in the middle, but then it took a very long time to like get to like the good stuff or the spicy stuff. But when it did get to that part, which was towards the end, that part was good. And then I suppose the best part is the ending. Like the ending, ended on a cliffhanger, which I was not expecting. And of course, now I'm very interested in getting the next book. So I've already pre-ordered the next book. I think it's coming out in November, but overall it is a good book. I don't know that it deserves to be the number one like fantasy book on Amazon or whatnot, but it is quite good in terms of books. Next up in my favorites would be this sunscreen. Of all things. So this is the Beauty of Joseon Relief Sun Rice and Probiotic Sunscreen. It has SPF 50 plus, and I wear sunscreen every day, but I'm very particular about my sunscreens because, as you know, if you have darker skin, it's very hard to find sunscreens that don't give you that weird white cast. So this is one of them. It's really lightweight and it blends in seamlessly. It's like you're putting on moisturizer or lotion, which is quite nice. I have discovered other sunscreens that do the same thing, but this one is really nice and it has a pretty high SPF as well. It also isn't particularly oily if you don't like the oily look. I love the oily look, so there's that. But if you want a little bit more of a sheen versus a shine, like this one does it, so I really like it. I think this is gonna be my new winter sunscreen because my other winter sunscreen that I love is only SPF 36. So yeah, this is SPF 50, so it's probably better to use this one. And then I have another sunscreen that I use in the summertime that's SPF 70, and that's really good as well. But yes, this is my new favorite sunscreen of the moment. Now, in terms of experiences, this month I started swimming classes. I think I mentioned it in my budgeting video, but yes, so I know you guys have heard me talk about how I've been trying to find a swimming class and I finally found one, and this week is gonna be my third week. So this has just been really fun. Like I kind of like miss being in the water, which is a good thing. I suppose you don't want to have a fear of water, I suppose, if you're gonna try to learn to swim. So it's just been really fun. It's an adult swim class, so that's been nice. I think it would be a little weird to be surrounded by kids, but at the same time, like I would bear it just to learn how to swim. But it's just kind of nice, like being around people like your same age and that are like trying to strive for the same thing. So it's been good in that way, and I really like the instructor. Like the way that she teaches things has been super helpful because she's been teaching like the fundamentals and the mechanics of what you're doing, so it makes it easier to like follow along. So where are we at now? We've been doing floating on your back, floating downward, learning how to kick your feet, how to move your arms when you're doing a stroke, things like that. That's where we're at now, and I'm excited to like get to the other stuff so I can like progress, because I definitely plan, once I get the basics down, to like do a little swimming on vacation as well. So this is right on time. All right, moving on to August. So August is going to be good. I think I have about 3 weeks of work, and then the last week I'm going to be on vacation, and then going into September, the first 2 weeks of September, I'll be gone as well. So it shouldn't be too bad, and I've like changed my goals to reflect that. So normally I put like do an activity, but I'm going to be doing an activity like every day, like once my vacation starts. So we're good on that end. But I do want to read a book. I actually have 2 books that I want to bring on vacation with me, because last time I brought 1 book and then I finished it and I was just like aching for another book. So I'm gonna bring 2 books, and that should be good. And then I need 1 to like start reading before vacation. So I'll probably read at least 3 books. We'll see how it goes, but 1 is the goal. And then I want to increase my weights. So I put 85 pounds for my squat. So you can see my squat rack behind me, of course. I definitely prefer having my desk behind me because it's a definitely better aesthetic, but like I needed to put the squat rack somewhere, and this is the best place. I didn't want to have the squat rack in my bedroom because I don't want to be staring at a squat rack like when I'm trying to head to bed. But yes, that's where my desk is now. So we'll do 85 pounds for squats, and then I also want to increase my weights just overall, and even if that means that I have to do less reps, because I'm trying to actually build muscle, and the way you do that is by increasing lifting the weight that you're lifting. So that's the plan. And then I also want to deep clean before I go on vacation. I usually try to have my house clean before I leave because I have mentioned before, I do not like coming back to like a dirty house. It's just not good because unfortunately for vacation, I'm going to be working up until the day I leave. And then as soon as I come back, I'm going to have to work. So it's just nice to have things in order when you have to like get straight back into work. So that's the plan. And then the other thing I want to do is to work out 2 times a week on vacation. So I have noticed that if I do not work out on vacation, I become extremely out of shape by the time I come back. Like it becomes very hard to do the things that I was like doing before, and it's like you're starting over from zero, which is no fun. So I'm gonna bring my yoga mat and I'm hoping to do some yoga and Pilates, and then of course I'll try to like work out during the day when I'm doing like excursions. Of course you're gonna be walking, we're gonna be taking stairs, walking, doing hikes and stuff like that. So I should be able to accomplish that hopefully. Now in terms of to do, the only thing we got to do is like finish up the rest of the vacation planning. So that is basically it. So of course I'm excited for vacation. It is much needed. I have been working way entirely too much and I'm just ready to like have a reset, like mentally and otherwise. I will eventually fill you guys in on the work situation because it is not going as desired. And it might not be for long, and by that I mean like I went back to full-time and I doubt that I will be staying there for very long. But yes, I'm looking forward to that break just for the mental aspects, and it should be good. Of course I'm gonna vlog it, so I will let you guys know about that. And I'm still working on that vlog from my previous vacation, which I hope to have out before I leave as well. So yes guys, that is it for the August reset. Of course let me know what you guys are up to in August, and if you have any plans, goals, what are you doing? We love to hear about it in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video.